Hi, my name is Tina Spangler with TLC Barrel Horse Training in Groveland, Florida. A reader sent in a question asking how to get their horse to use their hindquarters better going around the barrels in a competitive run. So I'm going to show you a couple of exercises you should be able to do on your horse in your dry work away from the barrels and also in your slow work on the barrels. If you can do this, then you should be able to control your horse's hindquarters better in a competitive run, and also realize that everything has to be taught in increments, and you've probably heard the saying, add more speed, lose your turns, until they figure it out. It's just like anything, it has to be controlled speed, educated speed, and you have to teach it like first grade, second grade on through middle school, high school, college. You know, you don't want to skip steps or put too much speed or pressure on a horse before they're prepared with their ABCs. So let's get to the ABCs, and the first thing you want to be certain is your horse is broke from head to tail, that your horse will tuck its nose vertically with a light hand cue. So you want to have a horse that's soft in the face. You want to have a horse that will side pass off the lightest of leg cue and a little bit of neck ring cue. And you want to be sure that they're ambidextrous and they can do it on both sides. Most horses are just like us. They're either a lefty or a righty. So you need to start with their better side first to give them confidence, but then you may have to work their weaker side more often to accomplish your goal and get them to be more even on both sides. Once you can get your horse soft in the face and moving off your leg, I like to use my leg by the back cinch to push their hip in. So if I was turning a right barrel, I'd put my leg back, my left leg back into the back cinch, and I move my horse's hip in. So now I have a nice hip in, pivot foot under him for a right barrel turn. If I was turning a left barrel, I'd put my right leg in the back cinch, and now my left hip is in, his left hip is in, and I'm ready for a left barrel turn. Okay? A horse that needs to be able to use its butt has to have a good whoa. It has to be able to back really well. If it's missing a whoa or a backup, then it's not going to be a collected horse that can use its butt. Also, if it's not able to break in the pole, it's not going to round its top line and get its butt under it either. So those are all factors that you need to have in your barrel horse. I like to use scissor legs, and hand position is very important when you're going in circles and you want to use your pivot foot. So I'm going to demonstrate what I call scissor legs. The inside leg will be hugging your horse by the front cinch. The outside leg will be hugging the horse by the back cinch. And therefore, your inside pivot foot will be closer to the barrel, and your shoulder will be up and out of your circle or your barrel turn. Let me move out a little further where you can see that better. So again, for a scissor turns, your inside leg's by the front cinch, your outside leg's by the back cinch. How much pressure you use depends on the horse. Hand position is very important here. If you'll notice, my hands go back to neutral where my thumbs are even, and then they come back when I hug with my leg, and that gets my horse not only a little bit more collected, it gets the shoulder and the rib cage to soften as well when I hug them with my inside leg. So this way my pivot foot's reaching nice and up and underneath me. So if I reverse arc my horse and go back the other way, I've got the shoulder under control. And these are all exercises you can do with your horse. A reverse arc looks like this, where you look to the inside and look them off your leg. These are all good exercises to get control of your hip and your shoulder. If I want to reverse arc to the left, I look to the left and use my right hand and leg. All these exercises are just really good exercises to get control of the horse's hip and shoulder. Okay, so that would be good to know you could do for your dry work. Okay, now we're going to go to the barrel pattern and talk about how to get the pivot foot up under your horse. The first thing you've got to have is good rate. I want to rate each barrel when my leg gets the barrel, and I'm going to go to each barrel with a 3 or 4 foot pocket next to each barrel. I'm going to sit down and say whoa, and I want my horse to stop on their hind end when I get my leg even with the barrel. Then you're going to notice as I walk around the barrel 1 or 2 times, I'm going to have my inside hand slightly flexing my horse and coming back while I'm adding my scissor legs to keep the shoulder out of the turn and the hip inside of the turn. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. I have 3 barrels set up, and you can just randomly go to them any direction you want. as I'm walking around the barrel, I'll use scissor legs, keep the shoulder out and the hip in. Whoa. Another thing that's good to do is teach a barrel horse to back around the barrel with their hip in and their shoulder out. Just break it into pieces using your scissor legs. Always use the give and take pressure. Always keep the tail closest to the barrel. So that's a good place to start. If your horse is not using their hindquarters, they're probably not having a good whoa. They're probably not rating off of your seat. They may be pulling on your hands. So you're going to want to do some dry work. Get where you can move their hips around just with your legs, from a standstill, at a walk, a trot, straight lines, circles. Get where you can do circles around the barrels with the shoulder out and the hip in. Then also work on rating, stopping at the barrel when your leg gets to the barrel at a walk, trot, and a lope, and always being able to put their hip in and keep their shoulder out. If you can get your rate where they're on their butt and your pivot at one time, that'll cut out one stride in your barrel turn with speed eventually, and it'll save you a lot of time. So I hope these ideas give you something to work with. And anyways, you want to make it fun for your barrel horse, so always pet them and take away the pressure and reward them when they make a good effort, and go at a speed that they can learn. If they start making mistakes as you go faster, slow it back down until they master it again at the slower speed, and then only go up a speed as they understand it without having to go to a bigger bit. The bit I have on right now, it's an Ed Wright bridle. I've had it since the early 90s. He makes really high quality equipment. This is just a combination. It has the nose band, a rope nose band, and then you can see where the reins go. There's a couple options. You can go in the ring or one hole down or two holes down for more leverage. I like this bit because it slides, but it also has some leverage, so it's a nice bit to get shoulder. The rope nose band is nice for the chargier horse like he is, to help finish a turn if you need that. It's a 3-piece dog bone mouthpiece, so it's a nice, comfortable mouthpiece for the horse to wear. Anyways, you should ride in the bit the mildest bit you can get away with for your training. You know, and split reins are great too. I happen to have short reins on here because I plan to lope the barrels here in a minute. But anyways, just work in equipment that your horse is comfortable in and can learn in. Okay? And again, thank you for the question, and I hope that gives you some places to work away from the barrels and on the barrels to get your horse using their hindquarters better. Thank you for the question.